Welcome to the SmartBeach video tutorial. I am Narasimha Niladri and I am going to demonstrate how to perform a load test using a functional test script. In my previous video tutorial, I have demonstrated how to create a functional test script using the OpenScript scripting platform. And in this video tutorial, I am going to demonstrate how the functional test script is used to execute as a load test using an Oracle load testing tool for JD Edwards application. So before I demonstrate the functional test script as a load test, I will show you what differences we will experience when we execute the functional and load test scripts. Normally, the actions recorded in a functional test mode are visible during the functional test script's execution. For instance, you record to open a JD Edwards application. You enter the URL, enter the user credentials, and select the required module in the JDE. All those actions you recorded will be visualized and iterate the same set of actions n number of times in a sequential manner on the same system. And whereas for the load test scripts, the load test scripts can also be generated in an OpenScript scripting platform, just as we create for the functional test script. However, the difference is when the load test script is run, the actions are not visible. It generates the virtual uses based on the virtual number of users you enter to run the Oracle load testing tool. So here I will show an example executing a functional test script, the load test script, and show results during execution. I'm not going to create a functional test script now in this demo, as I already have the scripts ready for the demo purpose. So let me open the OpenScript scripting platform, and let me open the an existing JD functional test script. I took a basic JD application to open the JD application and enter the user credentials and search for the item master and search for an item and view for the details and then sign out. So that is a simple script I have created. Let me run this. These are the steps we have for the functional test scripts. All the steps are recorded already here. So let me show you while running, like how the execution will be while running. So just run the script now. It has opened the browser, enter the JD URL, entering the user ID and password. So like I said, for the functional test scripts, we can see the actions. All the actions that we recorded can be seen here. So it went to the fast path in JDE, and it will enter the item, one of the item number, and it shows the item details and closes the window. Then here it closes the window. And signs out from this application. So the script is executed. So we can see all the results here. The results can be seen here. Just now we ran, it shows the results here. It shows for each and every step. Now we know that when you run the functional test script, you can see all the actions. Now let us see what happens if you run the Oracle load testing script, which is for I already generated a script for the JD application. So let me run that and show you how it shows. Let me run this. So even here we have all the steps already. I did the same steps for both the functional and load test scripts. So even here it actually opens the application, it enters the user ID password, and it's using the fast path, it logs, it checks for the item master and enters the item master and views and closes. So that's what it does. So let me run and just show you. So in here it started executing everything. It's in the third step now. So see, it is executing behind the screen, but we can't see the actions, what actions are going on. But of course we can see the console as well as the results. We can see here for step by step, what step and whether the step is passed or not. on 6th step now. So behind the screen, it actually created a one virtual user and performing all the actions that it has in the script. So in this scripting, in the same scripting platform, we can create a number of virtual users and also create that, but we are not going to do this now. So see, so it's executed and all the steps are passed here, but we do not see any actions here. So now we know how the functional and load test scripts acts during execution. Now we will see how to execute a functional test script as a load test script in Oracle load testing tool. Which means I will open the same functional test script and run as a load test in Oracle load testing tool. I will open the Oracle load testing tool and show how the functional test script is executed with the given number of virtual users. Which means let me open the Oracle load testing tool in the Internet Explorer browser, and then type the Oracle load testing URL, enter the password, username, password. Now look at this here. On the left hand side you see two different scripts, which is JD functional test script and JD load test script. So these are scripts I have shown you before how to execute and what differences you have seen. So just to remind you again, for the JD functional test scripts, actions can be seen. What are the actions are recorded, those can be seen during execution. But whereas for the JD load test script, when you run this load test script, you can't see the actions. Everything is going to happen behind the screen. It creates the number of virtual users. I will show you how to run the JD functional test script by giving the virtual numbers. So before that, I will show you like this path, where from which path the script showing up. So go to Windows Explorer, go to C drive, and then go to Oracle ATS, and then go to the folder OFT, and here. So these are the folders it is showing up over there. So when you record the actions, it creates the folder structure in this path, because this is the path you set in the open script. So as soon as the Oracle load testing tool is loaded, it loads by default here. It shows over here. So now let me run the functional test script. You can double click on this, and then here, this is what you have. You have the virtual users field here. Based on the virtual number of users you enter here, it creates those many remote desktop connections, which means like it will show, for example, so these are it shows. So assuming like I'm running on the server now, and when you give the virtual users as 3, it creates 3 different remote desktop connections and run all the actions parallelly simultaneously on 3 different remote desktop connections. So I'll show you how it runs now. Let me go back to the load testing tool again. So this is what you have. So currently I have given only one. Okay, well, let us try with only one virtual user machine, one virtual user which runs in the one remote desktop connection. So let me run and show you how it shows. So run the test now. I'm using the same session again, so just overwrite on this. So the status shows as starting. So if you look at the taskbar, it is popping up the interactive services detection. So when see here, a program running on this computer is trying to display a message. So what it is trying to do is, when I run the script with one virtual user, it's trying to create in the backend, it's trying to create one remote desktop connection. And if you want to view it, you can just click on the view the message and see the actions here. So it connected by itself the remote desktop connection with the temporary name, RDP connection name, and then it's loading by itself. It is still trying to open the browser. Yeah, now the browser is open. If you see here on the top menu, see it shows the open script and playing. The script is playing now. It runs all the actions. It is entering the username, password, and everything. So see, you are able to run the functional test script and functional test script as a load test and see the actions here now. So basically here what happens is when you give the virtual number of users, it creates those many remote desktop connections and you can see on multiple machines. Or else you can actually maximize whichever the remote desktop connection you want to view, and you can see all the actions. So it is closing now. It has signed out and closing now. So see, the status says has finished here. So let me run it again and show you how it runs. Here when you give the virtual number of users, it is creating the remote desktop connection in this users folder here. For example, see, when I run it here, it creates the folder with one remote desktop username, and then it tries to connect with the same the created remote desktop user, and it'll do all the actions what are all recorded during the functional test scripts and shows on the screen. So let me run it again and show you. So see, I clicked on the play button. I'm using the same session again. Now see, it has created the user here. See, by default, automatically it has created the user here. So it is showing all the actions, what are all the actions we did during the functional test script recording, which means like this is actually running on multiple machines here. This is the one. This is one a scenario where we can actually run the functional test script and see how it runs on multiple machines. And so once the execution is finished, it will automatically deletes the remote user from the users list.
Learn more about Oracle Application Testing Suite by watching our video series and checking out our blog, which go into even more depth about the ways in which you can get the most out of OATS. Links to both are in the description. Thank you for watching.